So this is the green dragon dressing. This is a dressing that I picked up a version of the recipe from a chef like 7 years ago at Air One. It's an amazing combination of flavors, sort of spicy, hot, salty, tangy, and a touch of sweet. It's really delicious. It's really great for candida, for cleansing, for detoxifying, for circulation. It's sort of diaphoretic. It helps get the flow out to the skin. It might make you perspire and warm up a little bit if you have a good amount, but you'll feel amazing. Once I started making it at the bar at Air One and giving out samples, people would go kind of crazy over it. So I had to make batches after batches after batches. People would come in with jars and we just fill them up. So now that we can make this in a studio kitchen for everybody at home, for Longevity Warehouse, this is exciting because no one grows tired of this recipe. I've had people that are brand new to health lifestyle changes and their taste buds are not yet accustomed. They pour this on anything and everything and it tastes fantastic. You can make a big batch, keep it in the fridge, never goes bad. It may separate a little bit, just shake it really well and enjoy. So we're gonna make it from scratch to show you how to do it at home and go over all the ingredients. So we have a Vitamix and we have our main food items. We have a bunch of cilantro, we have an organic yellow onion, peeled, and we have a jalapeno pepper. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one jalapeno pepper and I'm going to cut this into a few chunks and put it in the bottom of the Vitamix. And we have some rinsed organic cilantro. This is coriander in Europe, or Chinese parsley. This is, if you eat the amount of cilantro that's in this dressing on a regular basis, you have the amount that you need to detoxify heavy metals. It's an amazing, amazing food. You can smell, I can smell the aromatic aspect of this. The oils that are in here are very antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, cleansing the colon. Great for people new to detoxing and trying to lower candida, things like that. So next we have an onion. One of my first favorite health books I ever read said if you could eat a whole onion every day that you would never lose your hair. It's the sulfur. Sulfur is one of those youth elements that's in there. Plus it's very high in quercetin, one of the most powerful antioxidants. CoQ10. It's a powerful antioxidant, raw onions. This is going to add some of the spice and the texture. So we just chop that up in chunks because the Vitamix is going to do the rest of the work for us. And now we're going to put in, we have 3 different liquids. We have the oils, we have the namashoyu, or the low-sodium wheat-free tamari, and we have the apple cider vinegar. The first ingredient of our 3 liquids is a low-sodium wheat-free tamari, which we prefer over namashoyu, but you could use namashoyu. Tamaru is the Japanese verb for to accumulate. This is the liquid that forms around the fermented soybean of the 1 to 3 year old hacho miso. So this has the koji, the beneficial bacteria. This is high in amino acids, all the proteins that comes off from the soybean as it ferments. High in tryptophan, which is good for serotonin. High in niacin B3, high in manganese. And you know, it's the salt aspect of our liquid. So we're going to put in 7 ounces of this. So that's just shy of an 8-ounce cup. And our next liquid is our oils. So the first oil, this is a fresh pressed, organic, raw, low temperature flaxseed oil that's kept in Myron glass that never goes bad. This doesn't have the lignans, it's not dark, it's pure in color, so it's not as high in estrogenic as a high lignan flax oil. Very high in vitamin E and CoQ10 and other antioxidants. Tastes delicious, this quality. This can be ordered on the Longevity Warehouse. So we're going to do a mixture of olive oil and flax oil to get the balance of our omega-3s and the health benefits of olive oil and just the ultimate flavor. So we're going to use 4 ounces of the flax oil, half a cup. You can see the color of this. See how golden and pure and clean that is. It's an amazing product. And now we're going to use 4 ounces of olive oil. So this is a very high quality olive oil. It's David Wolf's product, again in Myron glass. Now this is more of an omega-9 monounsaturated oil, so it actually doesn't upset the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio that people are concerned a lot about these days. So you can have olive oil and it's safe. But olive oil has been famous for a long, long time, goes way back in every folk remedy health book I ever started reading as a cure-all for longevity and for your joints if you rub it externally and just about everything. But modern science is talking now about the antioxidants that are so beneficial for the cardiovascular system and the rest of the body, chiefly speaking the tyrosol. A lot of people have not heard of tyrosol. This antioxidant is twice as strong as coenzyme Q10, and it helps turn on a gene that expresses antioxidant function to protect the DNA. It's really a longevity food. Some of the longest living people that's been studied, they've all had generous consumption of olive oil as one of the top foods that researchers believe is a major contributing factor to their longevity. So we have 4 ounces of the David Wolf extra virgin olive oil. And now our last liquid is going to be raw organic apple cider vinegar, aged in wood with the mother. This is Bragg's. So when they say the mother, what does that mean? Well, if you've ever bought kombucha or any one of these other natural lactic acid fermented foods, there's a little kind of slimy looking thing that can be at the bottom that's formed. These are protein molecules linking up, and that's the culture. That's the lactic acid growing. That means it's raw and unfiltered. That means it has the health benefits. That's what we want. Now, for me, probably the first health book that I ever picked up at a health food store and started reading was apple cider vinegar. It just goes back. It's great for everything in the body. It's an acid, but it's alkaline forming. It detoxifies the joints. It cleans out plaques and deposits and gunk out of your entire system, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system. It's energizing. It's very high in potassium. It's very high in malic acid. It helps to dissolve stones. So over time, it can help cleanse the kidneys of stones and the gallbladder. Now, I really like the apple cider vinegar because I learned from the body ecology diet that things that are opposite to sweet is what's so beneficial from protecting us from pathogens. So today we have so many antibiotics and so much sugar and so many people getting allergies and digestive problems and PMS and sugar cravings and eventually autoimmune stuff. And it's so correlated to the lack of good bacteria and the high level of yeasts and parasites and viruses that are accumulating in people's body today. So when you try to stop eating sugar and we crave it, the best thing we can do is hit the body with something that's the opposite, like a little apple cider vinegar and water, something that's very sour. But this has right-turning lactic acid, okay? This is what actually can kill bad bacteria and actually repopulate, help the beneficial bacteria multiply in our digestive tract as it cleans the system. So the apple cider vinegar, we're going to put 9 ounces of apple cider vinegar. So I called this a lot. I called it the BED, Green Dragon Dressing. BED is the acronym for Body Ecology Diet because it's a zero sugar dressing. If you absolutely detest stevia, you could replace it with honey when we get to the end to sweeten it. But you don't need much sweetener for this. So I'm just going to use 1 squirt of stevia for the entire batch. Even people that don't like stevia really can't taste it because it's so hot and spicy, it's covered up. So we have 8 ounces of vinegar and our last ounce to make 9. Now we're done with the majority of our liquids. And now, when I invented this dressing with the food items and the bright balance of the right liquids, I knew it was going to be green because of the cilantro. So I said, aha, I have green superfoods, some of which are renowned to be the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, going back from the beginning of time, like chlorella and the phytoplankton minerals. So I took these green superfoods, which we have here, and I just added them to the dressing because I know they're going to blend in and they're going to mix with the color and the texture very, very well. But they're going to add very rare nutrients that's going to turn this into a superfood powerhouse, anti-yeast, energizing, detoxifying salad dressing that tastes amazing, that anyone in the family can put on anything. I've had clients putting it on fish, on cooked quinoa, on steamed vegetables, of course, on salads. It's amazing. So the first of the green foods we have is the phytoplankton. This is marine phytoplankton. This is one of the earliest foods on the planet. This has every known amino acid, protein, carotenoid, vitamin, mineral, trace mineral. It has other nutrients that experts believe can actually turn on genes in our body back to when we were like amphibians, that can change the chemistry in our blood. Our blood is very much like ocean water, and some people believe that we originally come from the ocean. And that's why phytoplankton is so hot, because it's pleomorphic. It can actually affect the chemistry or the vibration of the blood, which changes the ratio of the primitive bacteria, opportunistic bacteria, and all the other microbes, the protites, the somatites. These are actually beneficial microscopic bacteria for the blood. That changes in our blood, and we can see it with live blood cell microscopy when we start eating better foods, but especially when we start taking superfoods like phytoplankton. So we're going to put a teaspoon of our first green superfood, phytoplankton, from Longevity Warehouse. Now the next green superfood, this one is amazing. I don't think I would have ever learned about this food if it wasn't for Ron Teagarden. Even though in my early years of nutrition, I was a green food junkie, meaning I'd go through health food stores and I would look for any marketed new packaged green superfood product. And since around 2000, there's been a lot of them on the shelves. I'm sure you've seen them. And I've tried mass doses of every single one on the market and read all their ingredient list breakdowns back then. I never came across Ashitaba. It's not until Ron Teagarden was formulating his product, I got to test some batches, and then I started studying it, and then I started realizing that this is the best kept secret in the green superfood industry, in the green superfood world. Ashitaba. Some people call it tomorrow leaf, because it grows so rapidly. This plant can regenerate so quickly. If you pull a leaf off at lunch, tomorrow morning when you wake up, there's a new one growing already. It has very powerful antimicrobial, anti-pathogenic properties, very regenerative, very nutritious. It's very high in vitamin B12, and it absorbs, whereas like sea vegetables have beta blockers, and the B vitamins that are in them don't really absorb. This is great for vegetarians and vegans. Very powerful stuff, very good for candida because it's anti-pathogenic. And now our last green superfood, most people have heard of this. This is chlorella. This is a green algae. So we have the blue-green algae like AFA, Klamath algae, and spirulina with the phycocyanin and the AFAs. And then we have the green algae like chlorella, and then we go to the brown algae, which are the seaweeds. So this is upper in the kingdom of all of the algae-based superfoods. Again, it has a lot of protein. It has a lot of chlorophyll, hence the name chlorella. Chlorophyll blocks us. It's the green pigments in plants that can withstand direct sunlight for such long periods of time. It's the chlorophyllin that blocks the UV radiation that's oxidizing to our bodies. But the chlorophyll, once it's metabolized in the body, the human body doesn't know the difference between chlorophyll and human blood. It thinks it's plasma. That's why people in World War II used to inject chlorophyll right into injury victims to help work as a transfusion. So chlorophyll also creates oxygen in the body. When you have more chlorophyll, it's like you don't have to breathe. Your lungs are taking in more energy from the air, and you can definitely feel it at higher altitudes. Chlorella has every mineral in it, every vitamin, high in beta carotene as well. Superfood, tastes really good, fairly medium light, not quite so heavy as the spirulina. So we have our green,